What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today, with the conclusion of The Flash Season 9, we're going to be ranking every episode from that season from worst to best. So yeah, guys, just go ahead and get right into it. So coming in at episode 13, and to no surprise, the worst episode of The Flash Season 9, and maybe The Flash as a whole, is Season 9, Episode 6. This is the Allegra-focused episode. I don't even remember what happened in the episode because I just, muted it the whole time it was on. This might actually be the first 0 out of 10 Flash episode ever. This episode was so bad, so we're just going to move on from that. So yeah, that episode, well deserved to be the worst on this list. So then at number 12, we have Season 9, Episode 7. This is the Dreamer episode with Iris, where they, go into a dream or whatever. I mean, I think, Dreamer returning is cool, I guess, but you're really going to dedicate one of the episodes of The Flash's final season to a Supergirl character. I just don't really understand that. I don't know why Dreamer had a whole storyline in The Flash Season 9. She's not even a main, she's a side character on her own show. She's part of the supporting cast on Supergirl, or was. So I don't know why she gets a whole episode in The Flash. And yeah, that was just so annoying. That was why this is so low, is because of how annoying that was to me. But yeah, this episode also just wasn't that good either. So then at number 11 is Season 9, Episode 8. This is the one where Barry and Iris are stuck in the speed lab with those inspection people. This was a really weird episode. I mean, yeah, I guess it was kind of funny at times, and it was sort of, oh wow, I guess it was sort of entertaining, is what I'm trying to say, but it just was not relevant to the season at all, and it brought in a pointless villain as well. So, at least, but the reason it's not number 13 or 12 is because Barry was basically in it the whole episode. But yeah, this episode was just pointless, and they just really did not need to, I guess, put it in the season. They didn't need to put episodes 6, 7, or 8 in the season. They could have just had 3 less episodes in the season, because yeah, those had no point to the season and were just really boring in general. So now coming in at number 10, I have Season 9, Episode 11. The reason this one is so low is because Barry just wasn't in the episode until the very end. And it's the third to last episode of The Flash, and Barry just wasn't in it, which is just stupid. I don't know why they would ever have that happen. However, the Eddie Thawne stuff was pretty cool, just to learn about more of his backstory, he's Malcolm Thawne, and then eventually realizes that he is Eddie Thawne. But yeah, this episode, just because Barry wasn't in it, was just so boring and so disappointing. I really did not enjoy that whatsoever. The stuff they were doing in present day wasn't very good either. So now coming in at number 9, I have Season 9, Episode 2. Yeah, guys, we have the first episode of the Red Death storyline, and this episode was so boring. This episode was unbelievably boring. The Fiddler was a really bad character. I mean, at least Barry was in the episode for a long time. And the ending with the Red Death was pretty cool this time. And at this point, Red Death did seem like a pretty good villain because we'd barely seen her at all. But yeah, obviously that didn't exactly turn out to be true. But yeah, this episode 2 for Season 9 was just really boring. So yeah, that one comes in at number 9. So now coming in at number 8, I have Season 9, Episode 1. Now, this one I just felt was really, really mid. I like the time travel talk with Barry's map book and stuff, and I really like the Red Death's first reveal at the end. Red Death really did seem like a threatening villain at the end of Episode 1. But yeah, this is the one where Barry and Iris are stuck in the time loop, and Captain Boomerang was pretty cool, but just nothing really stood out about this episode. I mean, it was all right for a series premiere. It wasn't amazing or anything. But yeah, this episode, that's just it's just mid. That's what I'd call it. And yeah, I'd also give Season 9, Episode 1 probably about a 6 out of 10. So coming in at number 7, I have Season 9, Episode 3. And this was the one where Barry and the Rogues had to plan a heist, or I guess the ex-Rogues. I kind of did like them in this episode. They were kind of funny. But, you know, we also saw Barry's first interaction with Red Death, which at the time, she did seem very threatening in this episode. And, you know, Mark was actually turning into more of a villain, which I always thought he should be, which is actually why I started kind of getting into this season in this episode. I really enjoyed that part. But yeah, obviously the side characters are still terrible. And yeah, this episode I would also give a 6 out of 10, just because, yeah, the side characters just bring the show down so much. So coming in at number 6, I have Season 9, Episode 5, and this is the Red Death finale, and the speedster fight between the Flash and the Red Death was so cool to see, but, you know, Red Death without her mask on is just terrible and so cringe, and with it on, she's actually not too bad. I kind of like the character when she has her mask on, but, you know, obviously, like I said, when her mask is not on, she's so cringe. Grodd returned in this episode, which was cool. But another negative is Batwoman just shows up out of nowhere with no explanation. I don't know how that works, but yeah, that was kind of annoying right there. But yeah, the Red Death finale, I would also give a 6 out of 10. So coming to number 5, I have Season 9, Episode 4, and the reason this one's above the Red Death finale is because this is the most intense episode of the Red Death storyline. Barry running on the cosmic treadmill was really cool to see, but yeah, Red Death was still very cringe in this episode, but nonetheless, this was a super intense episode. You know, the power was out and stuff, so I'd give this one right here, Season 9, Episode 4, a 6.5 out of 10. So coming in at number 4, I have Season 9, Episode 12, the second to last episode of the season, and Eddie's backstory and seeing how he becomes jealous of Barry and becomes a villain was actually really cool. I really liked that villain origin story. Once Barry came into this episode, it got good with him fighting his own daughter, who was, you know, of course, was controlled by the Blue Crystal, and I really did enjoy that. I really enjoyed the Blue Crystal stuff, but just once again, the side characters like Keone, Allegra, Chester, they just bring the show down, especially Cecile. It just really, it's unfortunate how terrible the supporting cast of the show is. So Season 9, Episode 12, I would also give a 6.5 out of 10. So coming in at number 3 is Season 9, Episode 13, the series finale, and it is kind of sad that I'm putting this as number 3 on my list because this episode was not great. I mean, yeah, it was very, very disappointing. It was still very cool to see all these villains return. Side characters, you know, beating the speedster villains with ease is just terrible. It's literally awful. It's a disgrace to the show. And I think that Barry should have, you know, fought and beaten each of them at the end to show, you know, how powerful he's become. And that would have been really cool to see. And in general, we just needed more time with the villains. Barry giving Speed to new speedsters at the end was really cool. And, you know, the monologue, of course, at the end was also really great. It was a great way to end the show. Iris giving birth to Nora. That was a great scene. And, you know, Barry and Iris got their happy ending, which I did like. So yeah, Season 9, Episode 13, while it was disappointing, there were some things that I did enjoy about it. I would give it a 7 out of 10. And obviously, you guys knew these last two would be here at the top of this list. But at number 2, I actually have Season 9, Episode 10. Yes, guys, the episode where Barry and Thawne go back to that night, I have as number 2 on my list. Now, the reason it's not number 1 is because of the side character stuff at the beginning that they put in there for no reason. And just, you know, after this episode, there's just now even more timeline confusion. You know, so those were the really only bad things, though. You know, it was a great full circle episode, which was done so well. Barry and Thawne's rivalry is so good. And I would give this episode a 9 out of 10. And coming in at number 1 is Season 9, Episode 9, of course, Oliver Queen's return. In addition to him, Diggle, Wally, Bloodwork all did return, which is such a great to see them back. But the reason this one is, you know, ahead of Season 9, Episode 10 is because Episode 9 was written perfectly, and guess what, it wasn't written by Eric Wallace. What a surprise. So yeah, that's why I have Season 9, Episode 9 is my best episode of The Flash Season 9. The whole episode felt smooth. There were really no like rough parts of the episode. I really loved this episode. This was a great episode, and yeah, that is why I have it as my best episode of The Flash Season 9, and I would give it a 9.2 out of 10. But anyways, I'd say that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment your thoughts on this video down below, as well as your own ranking of your Flash Season 9 episodes. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.